Man, Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, I'd like to start this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Next is double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Salutations unto the 140 and 4,000. Doing the work of the Lord in all truth, honor, and sincerity, and shalom to the 1/3 men, women, and children who believe in His word being taught unto them. It's your brother, I am Noah Allah, back at you with another video with titled "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man," which is, hey, and the time right now is 5:55 a.m. man, 5:55, and if you know anything about the spiritual numbers, right, the number 5 represents power. Okay, and I'm seeing 555 on my Apple, my CarPlay, and my my dashboard right now, which is the spirit, man. Because as I just said, the title of this video is "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man," because you see, Yahweh Shai is getting ready to deliver us with power, man. You know, the scriptures talk about the strangeness of His salvation. You know, which because the inspiration of this lesson comes from a video I just watched by Elder Apostle Ramlab, where he was talking about what's it called, prisons, the future of humanity. You know, and this is why you can't trust this devil, because ultimately what this devil's got in plan for you is to enslave you. And this is what the majority of the world, the people of the world do not understand. They don't understand that the elect are about to be delivered out of this wicked world and this perilous destruction by way of divine intervention. And we just saw, 555, okay, representing power. With great power are the elect's going to be delivered out of this evil, whilst the world don't understand that they're actually being snared into an evil time, which the Hebrew word for evil is Rai. They're being snared into some evil times, man. Rai Yum making it plural. Okay, so let's hold this real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12, and I love this precept, man. This is a beautiful precept. Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. It says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net." This nigga coming right on my ass, boy. You know what? I might just let him overtake. What's this nigga on, bro? Let me let him pass, man. I can't be bothered for this shit. Go on, mate. I'm not expecting that. Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth upon them suddenly." You see, suddenly. So it's, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything on that. I'm going to let the precept speak. So let me read it one more time, and I'm going to back that up with another precept. Take it in, right? Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. And this is why we need to fear Yahweh Shai, and cursed be the man that trusteth in man, right? So Ecclesiastes 9 and 12, again, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net." It's just like, 1 minute you a fish in the sea, you swimming about, all lovely, all having a nice day. Next thing you know, you in the net. Your ass is taken out the sea. I was gonna say you drown, but let me put it this way. For lack of better words, you reversal drown. You drown in reverse. But just a minute ago, you was with the man them. You still swimming about, moving your little head, doing all of that stuff. Okay, that's how the people of this world are gonna be snared in these evil times, man. Okay. "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare," right? "So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them." Now, let's back this up with Sirach chapter 5 and verse 7, it says, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. This is why all that, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month, I'll do it next year, I'll do it just before I die. No, man. Isaiah 55, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call upon him while he is near. What is a major indication that the Lord is still near is the fact that you've got the prophets out there on the highways and the byways, preaching and prophesying this word. You've got the word going out on the various streaming platforms, predominantly YouTube. But guess what? The Heavenly Father, you know, it says in the book of Ezekiel how he's going to cause that tongue to cleave to the roof of our mouths. Eventually, we're going to shut the fuck up. And, you know, the time for talking is going to be over, and there's just going to be time for judgment, man. And then you just, pretty much at that point, you're just going to have to stand on business. And now the range of my fuel mileage is free, which goes into understanding, right? So you just got to understand that it is where it is, man. This is how the Heavenly Father is having it play out, man. You either get right or you get left. So make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, Sirach 5 and 7, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. You think you're nice and set up because you're in your security. You got your nice house, you got your nice, what do you call it? Your nice excavation plan, you know, your military bunker, you know, your underground bunker for you know, your bug out bunker. You got the bug out bag in the bag, I mean, in the boot of the car. You know, you just set, you prepped, you ready. Nah, bro. If you ain't of the elect, you ain't making it out of these times, bro. That's just the honest truth. You see? That's why we can't be delaying turning to the Lord, man. And even one of the reasons why Jake be delaying is because Jake trusts in Esau. That's a major issue that we have. Jake trusts in Esau. Jeremiah 17 and verse 5, which reads, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord. You actually make flesh your arm. You making man your arm, right? Rather than the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You're making flesh, another man, another weak mortal man. You're making that your armor, man. Alright, you're making that your line of defense. You're going to be through. Okay? But you see, there's a reason why Jake see Esau as that great force. Okay? Let's get into it, man. This is oh yeah, it's gonna be quite warm today. I just got a notification from my weather app. Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Because you got Jake in Christianity, you got Jake in Islam, you got Jake in all these other religious institutions. Everything but the truth. Okay? They taking counsel from the imam, but then when they see a prophet who you know looks similar to them, comes from a similar demographic, it's yeah, you know, I don't know about that still. Well, how many times I remember, man, you chat to certain people, you know, certain Jakes, you trying to bring them in, right? You know, you might send them a link to a video, and they oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that still. They never watch it, man. So they're not covering with the covering of the Lord, man. They're not taking counsel from the Lord. Okay? So what happens as a result? They're adding sin to sin. Verse 2, that walked down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth. You see, you'd rather trust in Keir Starmer. Boris Johnson during the Ovid situation. You know, you had people, I remember I had family members, man, huddling up together with the hot cocoa and the hot cup of tea, whatever, the coffee, congregating in the what you call it, in the living room, in the front room, right, in front of the TV, you know, getting ready to hear what Boris Johnson had to say, just to let you know that you can't go visit your grandma. You know, you can't hug your granddad. You know, you can't go to the hospital for them because they didn't want to spread the so-called vid. You know, all that bullshit. You see, you was trusting in man. That's the point that I'm getting at, man. All right, Jake was trusting in man. All right, and I had a lot of family members who were victim of that. Okay, and now they're out here looking silly. Let's check something. Now they're out here looking silly. I'm in. Okay. It says in verse 2. Oh no, I just read that. Verse 3 says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So you trusted in Pharaoh, you trusted in Esau, who's the modern day Pharaoh. Well, that's going to be to your confusion and to your destruction. Let's read the next chapter, Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. And you see, there's no new thing under the sun. All right. And really, Egypt is talking about the house of bondage, man. All right. And we're just in that modern day house of bondage, man. Okay. Which would be known as Babylon the Great. You know, the beast the whore that sitteth upon the beast. Okay. And his influence has spread throughout the four corners of the earth, predominantly the west. And stay on chariot. So let's read that again. Isaiah 31:1 says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. So they're not looking unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. They're looking unto Allah. They're looking unto Jesus. They're looking unto Buddha. Anything but Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. They're looking unto self. Yet he is also wise and bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Right? Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. And that's going to be your reward for trusting in man. Even worse, trusting in Esau, Edom. It literally tells you in Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy. You know what, man? Let's pull that. Because the next verse is cold too. This is Sirach 12, man, and verse 10. Do you know what? I want to see what it says in the Good News Bible. Let's see what that's saying. Hold on a minute. Hold on, just bear with me. The Good News translation. Let's see what it's saying, man. See if it's hitting. It's alright. I'll read it. And I'll read it to KJV. Sirach 12:10 in the GNT says, never trust an enemy. His wickedness is as destructive as rust. Watch out and be on guard against him, even if he acts ever so humble. You see, you gotta be on guard. You gotta more so be on guard with Esau Edom if he's coming up to you in that humble tip. He's coming up to you in that, I'm just trying to help, brothers. I'm just trying to help. You know, I'm a philanthropist and I just care about humanity and just take this sip and then you don't have to worry about losing your wallet. You don't have to worry about losing your keys. You don't have to worry about traveling with your passport because guess what? It's all gonna be embedded underneath your skin. But what don't they tell you? The radiation, the amount of radiation you're gonna be exposed to. The fact that it's gonna turn into a cancer. Revelation 16:2. Right? The fact that as an Israelite, if you take that, you are automatically barred from salvation, right? See, they're not telling you those things. They're like, oh, we're just trying to help you out. Yeah, the white man is just so nice and humble, and he's giving it for free. I mean, he spent so much money on this technology and he's just giving it out worldwide for free because you're the product, nigga. That's why. So Sirach 12 and 11 in the GNT, watch out and be on guard against him, even if he acts ever so humble. He is like a metal mirror that rusts away if you don't keep it polished. Got to keep your head on the swivel when Esau Edom's around, man. You know, Esau Edom like to paint the picture that, oh yeah, when you're around Jit, you got to keep your bag close to you. You know, you got to keep your belongings. Bro, when E comes around, you got to be in that spirit, man. You can't trust these devils. Look, man, these people are the type where, and you see it happen in the movies all the time, you know, they're about to be killed, you know, and then you decide to spare their life just out of the goodness of your heart. You turn around, he gonna stick that knife right in your neck, bro. That's the kind of individual we dealing with. That's the nation of people that we dealing with, and those are our enemies, man, and they're in power right now. You see? In the KJV, it says in verse 11 of Sirach, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So he's still that same old dusty ass, rusty ass, wicked ass, deceiving ass nigger that he was in the garden, man. When he had melanin back then, and he was known as the serpent. He's still that same nigga, man. Esau ain't changed, man. Leopard don't change their spots, and Edomite don't change their ways. Alright? There's a preset in, but I can't get words right properly, man. Never mind. We'll move on. Can a clean thing come out of an unclean thing? But I think it's something else as well. But we can rock with that. Because the still, you know, solidifies the point, right? Hey, but what spirit do we have to be in as the potential elect, the hopeful elect? Psalms 118, and let's start at 5. It says, I called upon the Lord in distress, and that's Lord in all caps, so Yahweh. I called upon Yahweh in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a large place, you know, which ultimately goes into salvation. And, you know, the large place is, you know, talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, that's that large place. Verse 6, the Lord is on my side, I will not fear. What can man do unto me? So we ain't got to fear Esau Edom. If you got Yahweh Shimi on your side, Yahweh Shimi Al Shai on your side, you ain't got to worry about what Esau Edom gonna come down with, man. Even if we got to, you know, lose our lives for this, man. And yeah, we need to get comfortable with the potential that we can lose our lives being in this truth, man. Already the world gonna turn against you. Sirach 16, not Sirach, 2nd Ezra 16 and 70, man, talks about the great insurrection that's going to come upon those that fear the Lord. The whole world is going to be against us, man. So be comfortable with the idea that we could very well die for this truth, man. And fuck this world anyway, man. And you got to see it like this, bro. If you don't die for this truth, you're going to die for Esau, man. Fuck dying for Esau. We ain't doing that, man. We ain't dying for Esau, because you're going to die anyway. Don't think that you're gonna escape Esau. You know, sorry. Don't think that you're gonna escape death. You know, because Esau gonna try and use that. Okay, you don't want to take the MOTB, well, we're gonna put you to death. Listen, bro, you take that MOTB, you're gonna be put to death anyway. How about that? Revelation 14 and 9. Come on, man. And you gonna die a grievous death. If you die for your Yahweh Shimei Shai, you know, that's dying an honorable death. And on top of that, you get to be raised up first. So that's the mindset we have to embody, man. So verse 7, the Lord take of my part with them that help me. Therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me. Sirach 25 and 7. It is better to put trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. All right? It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. All nations can pass me about, but in the name of the Lord will I destroy them, man. And you see that we're coming into a time where the Lord is going to lift up that standard, man. And that standard can come in many ways. You can fly, you can disappear, you can teleport, you know. You can have laser beams coming out your eyes, man. Superhuman strength. That standard is going. Just know when Isaiah 59:19 talks about that standard being raised. Hey, the Lord ain't playing, man. The Lord gonna show out for his elect. You see? Psalms 91 and verse 14. Which really, this whole psalm is bad, man. You gotta read the whole psalm, but for time's sake, we're gonna start at 14. Right? It says, because he have set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he have known my name. All right, and Sirach 17:10 tells you how the elect shall praise his holy name. However, Matthew 7:21 also tells you how not everyone that says unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom. So, hey, man, the scriptures also say what? To work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right, it says, he shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. All right, this is what we're going to get for trusting in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshai rather than trusting in man and making flesh our arm. Right? Verse 16, with long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. So we're praying and hoping to be found worthy to fit this part of the prophecy. Okay? Let me leave you with one more before I go. This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? And we have many accounts in the scriptures, man, of the Lord coming through for us, man. One that just came to mind was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which really, those are their Babylonian names. Was it Ananias, Mishael, and Abednego? I believe it is. It was, right, the Hebrew names. But you know, they was delivered out of that fiery furnace, man. You know, in which it said a fourth that appeared like the Son of Man was in there with them. And when, there's an account in the Apocrypha where, you know, imagine that there was in the there was in that fiery furnace, right? And you know, pretty much it felt like AC, like air conditioning, man. Yeah, in the what's that? Prayer of Azariah. Let's pull that in the Good News translation. You know, just a faith boost, man. That don't, and I'm bringing this out because, you know, I want to show the Lord's flex, man. These are just, you know, nothing's impossible unto the Lord. So it's like we have to apply that mindset to our situations, man. Because they could have said, oh, well, we're going to get tossed in that fire. We're through. But rather, they stood stiffly for the names of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahshai. And what happened? So remember there was in fire, right? Just remember there was in fire. This is Prayer of Azariah, verse 26 in the GNT. But an angel of the Lord, which was Yahweh Shai, came down into the fire where the three men were. So remember, these men were in fire, bro. Literal fire. Okay? He pushed aside the flames so that it felt as if a cool breeze were blowing. And the fire did not touch the men at all or hurt them in any way. Them niggas had the AC on, man. And it's lucky, they're not niggas, man, but, you know, figuratively speaking, man, they had the aircon on, bro, in fire. The Lord said, you know what, let me just bump up the AC. But you hear doubt in the Lord because you know, that letter came through the post when the bank account looking a bit dry, or the doctor said you got 3 months to live, and now you're just ready to just, give it all up, or your woman left you. Man, you limiting the power of the Lord, man. All right. So let's close out on Sirach 2:10 again. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful. And forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. So yeah, the Lord is gonna save us in time of affliction, man. Okay? So, we just gotta have faith. Those 3 men were delivered because phone bugging. Because they had faith, man. Hold on. Just double check something. Yeah, so it's Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Yeah, that's why you saw my face kind of went, because I said Abednego as the Hebrew name, but it was Azariah, as we read in his account in the Apocrypha, the prayer of Azariah, man. So, yeah. Yeah, man. But anyways, man, I believe the point's been made, man. So, yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. I pray, Lord willing, it's been edifying. Until the next time, I say shalom. Stay up, stay strong.